Fox News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome into Weather Extra. First Alert Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt. Want to take you to one of our cameras that we have here at Pier 43 in Tuscaloosa. Look at that ominous sky as that line of storms moves in. We're also tracking rain showers, storms further south, further north. We'll go over to First Alert AccuTrack radar, and here's a look at what's happening at the moment. You can see that we've got this. It's pretty much an outflow boundary that's making its way in. We had these storms that were back into Mississippi. Notice there's still a tornado watch back in here. That threat's over, even though that watch is still showing up. You can see the leading edge here of what's left of that complex of storms as it moves to the east. This is just really a lot of rain-cooled air, some lightning in here. The heaviest of the rain still hanging on from Lake Tuscaloosa, points north. But as this moves to the east, and even some of these storms and showers to the south, it could set off some additional thunderstorms, because out ahead of this, it's still hot, it's still steamy as this moves to the east. So we're still tracking. This is the next big thing that we're going to be dealing with for tonight as all this moves west to east across our area. Meteorologist Tania Michelle on the radar controls, and Tania will pan this to the north there, and you can see some of these storms coming in also. These are more intense storms down in Choctaw County, Alabama. Seeing quite a bit of lightning here around Butler. That's going to push in towards places like Nanophilia and Sweetwater here in southern Marengo County. So if you're watching me there, you can see the total lightning strikes 180. Could be some wind gusts in here certainly over 40 miles per hour. But all this rain-cooled air, it's gradually kind of plowing along and moving towards Birmingham. It's going to pass Birmingham, Coleman, cross 65, moving to East Alabama. So sort of a cascading effect. This could help to kick off some scattered storms well into tonight for areas further east. So right now, if you're watching me, places like Oxford, Talladega, you're not seeing a whole lot right now. Just stay tuned and keep a watch on our Fox 6 weather app through this evening, because there could be some more development, more scattered development here as this all tracks to the east. But we'll have updates on rain chances for our weekend. More on this hot, humid weather coming up here on Weather Extra, and also coming up on Weather Extra, we're going to be going beyond the 7-day forecast, talking about the dangers of lightning. It's that time of the year. You know what we say, when thunder roars, you go indoors. And I had a blast today, an event I have the privilege of being a part of every year. It was in Tuscaloosa at Shelton State in West Alabama. We'll show you what that's all about as we continue right here on Weather Extra.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Good Day, Alabama.
A new morning comes with preparing right, because while you slept, news broke.
We have new information from that breaking news that happened this morning.
While you head out, the storm we gave you the first alert for is on its way in. And as the key turns the ignition, your shorter route to work is being found.
Avoid 459 southbound completely because of a crash.
A new morning means everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama, always on your side.
The First Alert traffic you need to get you there safe and on time. Tomorrow morning, everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama.
You're late, out the door, and on the go. Don't worry.
Good Day, Alabama continues all morning long.
And wherever you watch, this is what you need to know right now.
More reporters on the streets with more hours of news when you need it. Everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama. Knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We've certainly been seeing some storms around. A lot of us, though, this week haven't even seen any rain yet. That's the nature of summer, though. It picks and chooses where it wants the storms to go, and we may see some storms around tonight. But let's check in with meteorologist Matt Daniel for an update on any drought conditions across here in the U.S.
We've had a lot of rain across parts of the country over the past 7 days. You can see who's seen nothing. That's towards the southwest, and who's seen a lot, and that's across the central United States going into parts of the eastern U.S. Lots of rain in Houston, up towards Arkansas. Also seeing some heavy rain in parts of Nebraska into the Dakotas. So it's been pretty wet and unsettled across several days. And of course, as we zoom into the south and east, we've had areas receiving a lot of rain, whereas other spots staying dry. It's that summertime pattern that we see all the time. So here's a look at the estimated rainfall from our radar over the past 5 days. So if you live out towards Fayette, maybe parts of Walker County, you really haven't seen much in the way of rain. The rain's been to your north and east towards Smith Lake, and the Coleman area had 1 to 2 inches of rainfall through there. And then as you go towards Aniana, over an inch, and lots of heavy rain yesterday in parts of Gadsden and the Anniston area, over 2 inches in some spots, and in around Pell City. And then here in Birmingham, relatively dry. We had like an isolated shower, maybe just a day or so, but most of that rain's been to the north or to our south. Heavier rain, of course, in Tuscaloosa a few days ago, over 1.5 inches in some spots, and a little bit drier as you go towards Marion, and only about maybe 1/4 inch of rainfall in around the Clanton area. So we've had some hits, some misses, and of course more days to see some rain, including this evening and going into tomorrow. So our monthly average rainfall for this year, we normally see about 5 inches of rainfall for May. In Birmingham alone, really haven't seen that much, but that could change over the next several days. And so here's a look at the average rainfall for Tuscaloosa in May, about a little over 3.5 inches, and we've already recorded 1.5 inches just a few days ago. So getting closer to that total. In Anniston, you've had over 2 inches of rain so far this month. Here's the latest drought monitor, and the drought continues for now across the central United States. You know, some extreme drought to an exceptional drought, and then the eastern half of the country, not too bad. But I will note there's still a lot of drought concerns across Florida and the peninsula area, moderate to extreme and around the Tampa area. Also seeing some moderate drought across coastal Louisiana. And then closer to home, we're looking pretty good. However, it's showing some abnormally dry conditions showing up in North Alabama towards the Huntsville area. But I think that could change over the next week as we have opportunities to see some rain. Here's a look at the potential rainfall across the southeast over the next 7 days, and look at Texas. Really wet weather expected for several days. They could see some flash flooding in the south central portions of the state. So that's where all the heavy rain is going to be located at. And this is just estimates, okay, from the Weather Prediction Center. In other words, we're going to see some rain that could produce a couple of inches of rainfall in a short period of time. So this is an average. Obviously, some spots will easily see more than that. Others could end up a little bit drier. But you know how it works around here. Just wait another day and you'll get some much needed rain. Just a reminder, wherever you go, make sure you monitor the First Alert weather app, because you never know what Mother Nature is going to throw at us. So remember, if you hear rumbles of thunder, if there's lightning nearby, go indoors. And of course, the app will notify you on the distance of where lightning's located, right where you're located at. We'll have another update on the drought monitor and the rainfall potential coming up a week from today.
Thanks for that, Matt. Well, out further west, people in Nevada need to grab the bug spray as they could see some more insects for the summer. That's because this past winter was so wet. The unusual weather has impacted when the bugs are arriving. Mormon crickets, which I did not know were a thing, today I learned, are hatching 2 months late, and ants are marching in a month early. As for the mosquitoes, which we know all too well here in Alabama, authorities are concerned about all of the standing water left over from the wet winter and mosquitoes breeding in different places this year. Well, a common myth in meteorology is that lightning never strikes the same place twice. Not true, and you're about to meet a Washington homeowner who wishes she didn't have proof that it can. Christopher Mitchell has the story.
There's the first hit, and then my poor dog runs like a bullet.
Kim Conklin shows us the moment a lightning bolt struck her tree, captured by a neighbor's security camera. Just 14 seconds later,
Right there.
the second bolt hits, more powerful than the first.
It was intense. Like now that you're coming out and you're looking at the tree, it's like, wow.
Before Monday's storm erupted, Kim and her son Andrew were outside doing yard work. She went inside. Andrew, still outside, about to finish the last bit of mowing.
Then when it was raining really hard, so I decided to stop and continue to mow out.
And all of a sudden, just boom, just this huge explosion, and wood chunks started flying over the house.
Then the lightning struck, and then my heart was racing.
I got really scared because I knew that Andrew was still in the back mowing the lawn.
And it was around this corner, only about 10 yards away, that Andrew let his mom know he was okay in the backyard.
It was a very scary moment, but he was okay. I was really glad.
As for the tree, the lightning bolt carving scars deep into the tree's bark from top to bottom. Damage to Kim's house kept to a minimum.
The only thing that happened in the house is my Alexa is no more, and the back outlets need to be replaced.
Kim considers themselves lucky. When she saw this happen right in front of her, she quickly felt the power of Mother Nature.
Oh, when I saw that the lightning hit the tree twice, I had goosebumps.
In Clarkston,
Because they always say lightning doesn't strike twice, but it sure did.
Chris Mitchell, KLEW News.
And not only in Washington, but lightning struck a school in Nebraska, damaging 90% of its roof. It happened Friday night, and Park Elementary has been closed since then. The lightning actually hit a brick chimney, and pieces of it were found 100 yards away. A structural engineer says the roof is safe and classes can resume today, which they did once everything was cleaned up. The roof will be replaced over the summer. And you know the saying, when thunder roars, go indoors. And there's a reason why we say that. Because if you hear thunder, that means lightning is nearby. An article by HudsonOhio.us wrote, while lightning fatalities have decreased over the past 30 years, lightning continues to be one of the top 3 storm-related killers in the United States. On average, in the U.S., lightning kills 51 people and injures hundreds more. Although most lightning victims survive, people struck by lightning often report a variety of long-term debilitating symptoms.
I step out my car and I close my door and I'm like grabbing towards the back seat door, and all of a sudden it just hit and I lost my hearing and I just kind of went to the ground. I just couldn't hear, and like I said, my legs were just gone. Like I felt like I couldn't move them.
This time of year, the spring and summer months, this is the peak time for us to see frequent lightning in Iowa.
And more than 30 million people are under the threat for severe storms today. We've already been tracking storms moving into Alabama. Those threats have included tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds, especially in part of the central and southern plains. And that wet weather associated with the same system led to flooding in Arkansas. Parts of Arkansas saw flooding early this morning. The National Weather Service issued flash flood warnings and a flood watch for much of the state. A tornado watch was in effect for parts of the state, as well as Louisiana and Mississippi. But you can see those flooded roadways. That's why we always tell you guys, if you do encounter a flooded roadway, you just can't know how deep it is. So turn around, don't drown. So hopefully we won't have any flooding issues with the storms tonight, but of course we're going to be monitoring them closely. Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt checks in with us for a look at that 7-day forecast, and I'll take you beyond the 7-day and just around the corner. I even hate to say it. Almost don't want to say it, but I got to. Hurricane season. We'll be right back.
West Shore Home is making shower and bath remodeling easy and more affordable for everyone. Hey everybody, I'm joined by Kirsten Page from West Shore to find out exactly how they're making that happen. Kirsten.
So Joe, we've been able to give homeowners, over 165,000 of them, the shower and bath of their dreams by making it a fast, easy, and convenient experience. But now we're making it even more affordable to start your project without breaking the bank.
Now Kirsten, when someone starts a remodeling project, costs can be a real concern. So how are you making it more affordable to start that project right now?
So instead of me telling you, why don't I show you? This homeowner was having some problems with their old shower. They called us, we stopped out, and we completely removed the old bathtub and replaced it with a walk-in shower in just one day. The best part? We can do a job like this for as low as $99 a month.
$99 a month, that's incredible.
It really is. We understand that budgets can be a little tighter this time of the year, so we want to make it easier for folks to get their projects started right now. So let's go ahead and look at another project we recently did. This homeowner was so excited to get rid of their old bathtub because they were getting an easy, low-step shower. You can see here we took out that old bathtub and removed everything down to the studs. Then we installed new walls and fixtures. By dinner time, this homeowner had their brand new shower, and the best part, they didn't need to worry about paying for their entire project up front. They were able to break it down into low monthly payments.
That project looks amazing, and the low monthly payments is going to make getting that project started so much easier. Kirsten, thanks so much. Folks, West Shore Home is making shower and bath remodeling fast and convenient, and you heard Kirsten, now they're making it more affordable too with their easy, low monthly payments. Call the number on your screen right now to start your project, and when you do, take advantage of this great offer. Call in now to get your new shower for as little as $99 a month. On top of that, they're doing free installation on all shower and bath projects. Don't delay. Call the experts at West Shore Home now.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra, and we got some extra stormy weather that we've been talking about this week moving in across our area. Right now we've got this complex of storms, the latest convective complex, and this thing today, when it started out across Mississippi, there was actually tornado watches with this. In our state, though, we're not expecting anything like that, but we're getting a nice little gust of wind. It's a nice cool breeze from all this rain-cooled air. And let me just show you. Notice Birmingham, 82 degrees. 70 right now in Aliceville. So this is mostly rain-cooled air. It's moving on to the east, but what this will do is as this cool air kind of moves along the landscape, it could set off some additional storms. That's what we're seeing. Notice how the lightning's really ramping up now around Winston County, back in here towards Jasper, Fayette, and this is moving towards Smith Lake. So now's the time, giving you the first alert around the Smith Lake area. You want to be off the water as this moves in, and that storm continues to the east. South of Tuscaloosa, or around Tuscaloosa, you can see how it's kind of breaking up, and past few scans, some of these areas to the south, we have seen some weakening, but there's a storm, quite a bit of lightning south of Rockford. That's now moving in closer to Weogufka. That's more of an isolated storm, but the lightning's intense with that thing. North of Birmingham, some pockets of rain along Interstate 65, but this could really fill in. You know, this is moving into an environment now where it's more unstable. We have temperatures in the 80s, so you can see the models, the model, this one in particular, it's about 2 hours behind, but it's picking up on this, and you can see it's showing that even as this moves into East Alabama, it could set off some more rain. So our window for more wet weather, it's not over. There's still a chance, especially central and eastern areas over the next several hours. Make sure you check in for updates. And then what happens overnight and into tomorrow morning is the tail end of this. There's a little disturbance kind of spinning along, and as that spins across Alabama, it may keep some of these showers going and perhaps a storm around late tonight for these areas to the north and east. We were seeing that in some of yesterday's data. So I think in the morning, certainly you check in with us on Good Day. There could be a little bit of wet weather, especially north and northeast. But the big focus right now is this heat, humidity as well. And for the weekend, Saturday, maybe a little bit of wet weather around tomorrow night. Here's 8 o'clock. I just want to show you this. I know we have concert in Tuscaloosa. A lot going on. You can see isolated development possible again for tomorrow, but we will break into some sunshine, heat up, and then we'll have to watch out for those pop-ups. Could see some wet weather early Saturday morning, some indicators there, maybe a few showers around, and then again during the afternoon. Look at the temperature, Birmingham 89 there in Tuscaloosa. So still these scattered storms and a pretty good chance Saturday as well. Heat index has been a big factor. We've had a lot of areas out there where the heat index already topping 90 degrees. You can see highs in the 80s. A look at our forecast there for Friday. Next week, scattered storms, highs in the 80s, lows in the 60s. Mom's Day still looks like 90 degrees there, and that chance for some wet weather, but the heat, the humidity, that is going to be with us here for a while. Looks like Thursday maybe a little bit drier there towards next week. Let's check in with meteorologist Lauren Linehan, who's been closely following that long-range data beyond the 7-day forecast. And Lauren, I know today I was over in Tuscaloosa in West Alabama, so humid out there today.
And Wes, you know this, growing up in Tuscaloosa, being a T-town boy, it always seems a little bit hotter and a little bit more humid over in West Alabama. So as we look ahead 6 to 10 days from now, what's it looking like for all of us here in Central Alabama? Well, I want you to notice, at least for part of us, areas south, temperatures have been trending above average. So likely as we get closer to the summer months, closer to June, we could be seeing a warm up here in the southeast from the Florida Big Bend up to the Panhandle. Panhandle and into parts of Georgia and South Carolina as well. So what would this look like for us? I mean, really for the northern half of our state, just looking fairly average for this time of the year. And average as we're heading into late May is in the low 80s. So as we go into the middle of next week, still looking at maybe low mid 80s, maybe not quite as steamy as it's going to be over Mother's Day weekend. And we've been talking about the potential for a little cool down next weekend before we see those temperatures going up again the following week. And when we have a milder pattern in place, typically low temperatures are going to be running in the 60s. You've got more humidity in the air, so it's going to be harder to cool down at night, but still showcasing that potential for maybe some cooler air coming in, not this weekend, but the next weekend. But could that have to do with a little bit of a cool down, or could that have to do with some wet weather in the forecast? So looking at the 6 to 10 day rainfall outlook, well, looks like it may be because we'd have a more active pattern in place that could support some rain. Now, we've been seeing with the pattern this week, it's not like it rained all day long, and it's not like everyone ends up seeing rain, but generally the pattern for most of us would favor above average precipitation. So we'll see how that looks here beyond the 7 day. Here we are next Friday, the 19th, showing potentially a northwest flow pattern in place, which we've been saying that's the pesky one where you get these disturbances coming through and it can bring some showers back. Looks like maybe next Friday for now dry, Saturday fairly dry, but showing maybe by next Sunday we could see some showers and storms. I want to stress there's a lot of uncertainty through the latter half of next week. Our models are diverging. What I'm showing you here is one, the other one's going a little bit wetter. So we'll see what ends up playing out. But here we are Monday, May 22nd, showing the possibility of some active weather across the southeast, maybe that better chance of rain to our south, but generally just looking more reminiscent of summertime as we get later into the month. You've got that heat building in, and then eventually we end May and head right into Atlantic hurricane season, which starts on June 1st. So on average, maybe about 14 named storms, but we are looking at the potential for a near average season across the Gulf Coast and the Atlantic. So here are those hurricane names, and I just want to point out one in particular, the O name, Ophelia. So I've told my girl Ophelia she needs to be on her best behavior as we go into Atlantic hurricane season. But even though it officially starts on June 1st, we actually already had a storm. The National Hurricane Center has gone back and looked at data. This was just released today. They went back and looked at data from earlier this year, and believe it or not, back in January, we had our first storm of the season. Now, it was a subtropical storm. When you see sub in front of that, that just means that instead of a true tropical system where you've got warm air in the core of it, it's actually more of a cold core system. So it can have tropical characteristics in the way it looks on satellite, but instead of having that warm air that fuels it, you have a cold core system. And so this actually developed off of the East Coast in mid-January. And what's going to happen is now that this was considered kind of the first system of the season, and remember, Mother Nature doesn't care what our arbitrary weeks and months are for hurricane season. So the next system that we get to form would be Tropical Depression number 2, since we've already had a system form. But the next tropical storm that develops would take that first name on the list, Arlene. So hopefully it'll be a while before we see any development. But coming up on Weather Extra, we take a final look at that 7-day forecast. We'll be right back.
We heard the first alert. Mom says we have to go. She says I don't have time to grab any more toys.
Need to be in your tornado safe place. Get there right now as you have.
We have to get to our safe place because sometimes when you hear the siren, it's too late. That's why she says knowing first is everything.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team, always on your side.
The first alert is more than a warning. It's a promise. A promise to get you out of harm's way. with plenty of time to spare. 4 walls and a roof can be replaced. Lives can't. That's why knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Well, we've all heard this saying before, a mother's love knows no bounds, and that rings true for birds too. This female osprey was pelted by hail during a storm in Colorado Wednesday night. Boulder County Parks and Open Space hosts a camera that live streams the bird's nest and captured this video as pea-sized pellets of hail piled up around her. You can see her shielding her eggs. The mama bird's efforts were successful, and she and the eggs are just fine. Wildlife officials expect the eggs to hatch in a few weeks. Oh my gosh. Tania is the one who chose this story, and she said it was cute, but I didn't realize it was going to be that cute. This is also pretty cute. Check it out. Our Wes Wyatt went over to West Alabama today, back to his homeland, and hosted the 2023 Senior Citizens Appreciation Day. And let me tell you, I was looking at some of that video Wes posted online, and y'all got some moves over there. I think Tania and I need to come out and learn some dance moves from you guys. But this is hosted by the Area Agency on Agency of West Alabama. Hundreds from across West Alabama were in attendance at Shelton State Community College campus for lunch, games, prizes, entertainment, and as you said, most importantly, dancing. So you know what? Oh, look at those antennas too. I'm gonna have to get on Wes for not bringing us a pair back, because we love some party favors. He did bring back some snacks though, so we're going to be tearing into those in a second. But let's look at that 7-day forecast. As we look ahead to tomorrow, still a chance of some scattered showers and storms. And then as we get into the weekend, hit or miss storms possible. There could be some more storms around at times, but generally the thing going into Mother's Day weekend is it's going to be hot and humid. So if you're doing anything with mom on Sunday, make sure she's staying hydrated and wearing plenty of sunscreen, or just not getting outdoors. My mom would say she's not going to get a suntan. She'll go out at night and get a moon tan, because she ain't getting that UV radiation. But as we go into next week, still a better chance for some showers and storms Monday and Tuesday before maybe, just maybe, a little front comes through and dries us out. But Wes will have more on your forecast tonight coming up on First at 9. Join us here on Weather Extra every weeknight at 6:30 on your favorite streaming platform. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Thursday evening.